Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing good today. We are now going to the next stage of our creative writing process of creative nonfiction. And today, our focus is on revision. And now, what I am going to do is showing you how you can start the revision process after you have the rough draft. I believe you already have a rough draft now. I myself already have a rough draft now because, as I told you, I also planned to write about something, right? So let me share with you my current rough draft. This is the rough draft that I already prepared for this one. I mentioned to you earlier that the focus of this writing is on the meeting between my friend and I after 13 years being separated. So this is the rough draft that I have. I told you earlier that we were supposed to write a 500-word essay, right? And that's very short, I found out. But it's okay, we have the reason for that. But what I got here is already 675. So I will have to do things to, first of all, make it meet the space requirement. And the second thing will be probably revising the content. But so far, it's a rough draft, granted. But I think it has most of what I wanted to tell to my audience. All right, done with my draft. So today, we will, as I told you, we will start revising the rough draft that we have, right? And to do that, there are 4 stages that we all need to do. And I want you to do this as well. The first one is reread your rough draft and see what it contains. So that's what you will be doing. In my case, I will be reading the rough draft that I already have and try to identify what I put in the rough draft, whether I put the first meeting and so on and so forth. That's what you will need to do. That's the first one. Now, the second one is check your rough draft and what it contains against your plan. Earlier, you planned to write about something. Now, please check your rough draft against that. What is the result of doing this checking? You will know whether what you already have in your rough draft actually represents what you have planned for your writing. In my case, I told you last week that I planned to write about my meeting with a friend whom I had met 13 years before. So I want to focus on the 13 years gap between our meetings. And when I read my rough draft, I will need to check whether uh, what I have in the rough draft actually represents that idea. Now, uh, stop right there. I can only tell you that sometimes what you need to revise is your work, okay, to represent or to match the plan. Or you can also revise the plan to match what you already have. This is the writing process, and a writing process is still very open to possibilities. There might be chances that what you eventually produce is different from what you have planned. So we're open to such possibility. Now, the third thing is making a reverse outline. Reverse outline is an outline you make based on a rough draft that you already have. I think I talked about reverse outline last semester when you were taking popular literature. So the purpose of writing a reverse outline is to know uh, what and how we order what we have in our rough draft and how we order these elements in the rough draft. And if you already have this reverse outline, you will be able to decide whether the order of appearance is already correct or not. If it is already correct, then go ahead, you can use it. If you find that the order of appearance in the rough draft is not correct, then you may change it. Okay, so basically that's what you do. You will need to make a reverse outline. Let me give you my example of a reverse outline. This is a reverse outline I made out of the rough draft that I have shown you earlier. So the title of the draft is Once in 13 Years Club. So it's like a club that meets only once in 13 years. And in my rough draft, what I have is here, first of all, reaching Kinaruku at 3 p.m. And Budi, my friend, came out and welcomed me at the front door. And then Budi ordered tea and fried banana to the employee over there, his employee. And later on, I thought about how lucky I was, I had been for getting coffee aroma, which you could only find in a limited number of places in Bandung. And then I also have a recap of what each of us had missed. I remembered about Budi writing materials for Extravaganza. And we also talked about David Bowie. And this is related to the book that I had published a month before our meeting here. And at the end, I bought Melly Kuslow's memoir before leaving Budi's place, before leaving the library. And finally, Budi gave me a ride and dropped me off at Cihampelas to see you all. So this is what I have in the rough draft. Now this is the third element, okay? The fourth one is try to revise the reverse outline based on what I think will be most suitable for our creative nonfiction. That's the third thing. In my case, when I revise this outline, I might need to drop some parts. Maybe this one. Budi came out and welcomed me. I think it's not very substantial. So I'll just cut it and remove it. So later on in my draft, I will only have reaching Kinaruku at 3 p.m. And then maybe I will revise it to and met Budi inside. Met Budi at the door, maybe. So I will talk about meeting him at the door very briefly as part of reaching Kinaruku at 3 p.m. And then Budi ordered tea and fried banana. I'm not really sure if it's useful, but I think I'll just keep it because it gives the atmosphere of the place. So I'll just leave it right there. And coffee aroma was also there. And I think this is how I will revise my draft into. Maybe this will be part of the closing. I bought Melly Kuslow's memoir before leaving, and Budi gave me a ride to Cihampelas. So each of this will be, say, like one paragraph maybe, or 2 paragraphs if they are short paragraphs. But this is how I will revise my work like. So I will start with reaching Kinaruku, and then I talked about the situation inside and Budi ordering tea and fried banana for us. And I talked about how lucky I had been that day because I reached the place that I wanted to see. And I also had the chance to buy coffee aroma, which is quite rare. And we talked about memory, okay? And finally, the closing. So this is how I will revise my work into, and hopefully when I finish revising this, I can have, I don't know, maybe 550 words or even at most 600 words. And that's uh, as much as you can write, right? So this is how I will revise it, and I will start my revision after that. And that's all, I guess, what I can tell you about how to revise a work. There are 4 stages. First one is um, reread your rough draft and find out what it contains. The second one is uh, check the rough draft and what it contains against your plan, what you have planned earlier. The third one is write a reverse outline so we know what we have in the text and how we have ordered those elements. And last one, after thinking about the reverse outline, then you will have to decide whether you have to delete or you move or you add anything to the rough draft that you already have. That's all. I hope you can start working on your rough draft and find something better. And this is a common process of writing. This is a common writing process when you have to revise, and revising is not only editing the words, but you might need to add something, you might need to delete something, or you might need to move something, and you might also need to change the whole plan. And we do that a lot, and it's just common. Let it be part of our normal mode when we write. We need to revise, revise, and revise. Okay, guys, I guess that's all. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.